I had
When are
4
we? Quiero
women
que
begging me
seas
for a
solo para mí.
relationship
I
within
want a
6 months
relationship.
after
I want to
breaking
get
up with my
serious.
ex. And in this video, I want to give you some brutally honest advice that I wish I knew when I was first getting back into the dating game. But what I don't want to do is repeat all the same advice you probably heard a million times before, like be high value or have an abundance mindset, and eventually you'll get more women. You know, none of that mainstream advice, bro. Instead, I want to give you 8 actually useful practical tips that you can start using today to get women to pursue you and select a woman of your choosing. So let's dive into it. The first piece of advice is to understand that women want the man that doesn't need them. So I remember having a conversation with my uncle who really wants a girlfriend and swears by dating apps, right? Like Bumble and Hinge. And he gets a bunch of matches, consistently messaging women to keep the conversation going and eagerly setting up dates. But he was complaining to me that his dates always fizzle out and the women tend to lose interest. And he was saying that, oh, we just weren't compatible or we had different interests. And I said, bro, the reason why your dates fizzle out and women lose interest is because you are operating in a state of need and eagerness, and the women can sense that from the moment you message them. And the same exact thing would happen to me or any other guy for that matter, despite looks or status. So if you're operating out of thirst and desperation to nurture the communication and promptly set up dates, it gives the energy that you are in need or you're lacking something internally, which repels women. So you want to keep an eye out for one of 3 things, okay? Was I getting anxious when she didn't respond, causing me to double text? Instead of double texting, just go about your life, focus on your purpose, your business, go to the gym, hang out with your bros, continue to live your life as if you guys aren't even texting. Okay. Second, was I trying to see her as soon as possible or too often, which may tell her my time may not be the most valuable and I'm prioritizing her attention. Instead of trying to set up the date tomorrow or trying to see her so quickly, relax, calm down. You can probably set up the date next week instead of trying to set it up in 2 days. Act like your time is valuable. Okay. And the third one, was I over validating or complimenting her and being extra nice, trying not to say something to upset her? Instead of giving a woman compliments out the gate saying you're so beautiful or you're so pretty or good morning, beautiful, instead tease her. Don't give compliments. She already knows she's beautiful. Other guys tell her she's beautiful all the time. So don't over validate. And over time, she will seek your validation. She will ask you, do I look good? Do I look good in this dress? How does this look on me? Do you like my nails? Do you like my hair? She will ask you to compliment her. So the bottom line is, if she suddenly loses interest or pulls away, it's not her. It's probably the fact that you are being too eager or a simp for real, gang, if I'm being honest with you. And I know that sounds harsh, but this video is not going to be a feel good, motivational type of video that you've probably seen a million times before. So with that in mind, tip number 2 is to split test with different women. This is an interesting one because one of the biggest traps I see men fall into is doing the exact same thing with every woman they date. Communication the same exact way, behaving the same exact way, and expecting different results. So let's say you have a habit of eagerly trying to keep the conversation alive with every woman you meet, or you make yourself overly available with every woman you initially begin to date. But if women aren't responding or reacting to you like you want them to, their interest and desire for you isn't increasing, then you're not going to get the positive results you want with women, even if you're talking to or dating dozens of women. Because I'm sure you've heard insanity is doing something over and over, expecting different results. Well, that applies perfectly because dating is only useful if you're constantly split testing with every woman that you date. So like I said, split test with every different woman that you date. So one thing you do with one woman, do a different variation or the exact opposite for all I care with the next woman and compare the outcomes of her response, right? And try to optimize what is working that's bringing you the desired result that you're looking for. Because you've got to remember, every single woman you talk to and date, there is always something you can split test to see what they respond to negatively or positively. So yeah, if you find yourself in a trap where you're doing the same thing with each woman you date, but she never begins to pursue you over time or emotionally invest in you, all you're doing is just running in circles. So tip number 3 is truly a double-edged sword, and most men find themselves on the wrong side of the blade, and it's your phone is not actually your friend. Now, you're not going to hear this from any other dating coach because it's the harsh truth nobody wants to admit. So basically, your phone can be used one of 2 ways, okay? It can be used to hurt you when you're dating women, or it can be used to help you when you're dating women, okay? I want you to imagine this. Imagine You use your phone all the time. You're always texting the women that you date consistently and frequently in the initial stages of dating. Okay. You're always there. She always sees your text come through. She knows that you won't go a while without texting her. And then on the flip side, let's imagine you're not really on your phone because you are busy doing other things, right? This will give her a sense of mystery about you. It'll create her to long for you and miss you and wonder about you. If you were always in her text threads, texting immediately when she texts you or checking in with her all throughout the day, you will rob yourself of the mystery you could have had if you use your phone properly. Now, please don't think I'm saying that never text her, never use your cell phone, lock it up in a black box and let her wonder about you until the end of time. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. There just needs to be a balance, okay? If you overuse your phone, you can end up hurting yourself in the long run. Do not underestimate the power of the cell phone. Know that depending on how you use it, it can hurt you or it can help you. Okay, so tip number 4 is to create tension. Now, the idea of creating tension is probably one of the most misunderstood concepts when dating women. And it's very interesting because what I've noticed is that the more tension you create, the more the woman will be attracted to you and pursue you. Some natural ways you can create tension are through not overly texting her upon meeting her or upon the first or second date. So it makes her wonder about you. It makes her even wonder where you stand, how interested you are with her. Another way you can create tension is by teasing her, man. Playful teasing, okay? And it kind of breaks down a woman's ego. You might say things like, oh, so those are the nails you chose to get. Like, what the heck? Does he not like my nails? It's playful. Oh, I think you should have got that style instead. When you are creating this tension with the women that you date, they are needing and wanting to relieve that tension, right? And this will make them pursue you more. It will make them emotionally invest in you more, which is good when you are dating women. Now, but the thing that makes creating tension so important actually has nothing to do with making a woman pursue you more. It's that you separate yourself from the men that put themselves in nice guy categories. You put yourself in a category of the 1% man while all the other men are honestly running away from any tension. So instead of trying to perform perfectly, act nice and make her happy, you want to live your life so authentically that you create some type of tension naturally. And she feels this and she's going to try to relieve it. And one of the easiest ways that I've found to do this is just to keep in the forefront of your mind. Don't be scared to make her upset or unhappy by how you live your life. Don't feel like you have to walk on eggshells when you're dating women. The more tension there is, the more she will like you, because most men can't handle that pressure. Most men can't handle that smoke with women. So they try to act nice and do everything perfect and say everything perfect. Okay, so tip number 5 is to use space and distance to your advantage. Women will never begin to pursue you and really emotionally attach if you don't give them the space to do so in the first place. And if you think for a second, maybe the men that have women chasing them probably aren't texting them every day, only respond to messages when they aren't busy working on their purpose, and probably aren't trying to promptly see them and set up dates all the time. And if you aren't using space and distance when dating women, you need to create some naturally. You can't fake this stuff, bro. Spend more time on your purpose and business, learn new skills, get more hobbies, hang out with the bros more. Anything that is not trying to see her or text her all throughout the day or see her every other day. Anything outside of that is good. That equals space and distance. And that space and distance, it will make her more curious about you. It will make her wonder about you. Because I think a massive trap men fall into is giving too much of their time and energy to women early on in the dating stages, purely out of excitement or desperation, when really they're smothering the space and distance women actually need to begin to pursue them. And you can take me, for example. So I've had a lot of success with dating and women pursuing me. I've dated women from all over the world. I've had women share me simultaneously. But in the past, I used to be the guy double texting, communicating daily, trying to keep the conversation going. And I was eagerly trying to set up dates and see the woman as often as possible. But now I've learned that when you use space and distance to your advantage, the roles flip. Instead of you as a guy acting super excited, eager, or needy, the woman will begin to have all of those behaviors, right? An attempt to close the gap between the space and distance you naturally have created, which means she'll most likely be the one double texting and triple texting you in time, texting and calling you daily to keep the conversation going, right? Keep the conversation alive and be the one wanting to see you instead of dates as much as possible, instead of you having to be on that side. And if you do want more understanding on how to use space and distance to your advantage when dating women, I'll leave a link in the description to a free video training that I created to get women to naturally pursue you more. And in that link, you'll also have the ability to schedule a 15-minute one-on-one dating consultation with yours truly. Okay, so tip number 6 is she's secretly attracted to your ability to generate other options outside of her. For this one, it will be a little bit easier if I just show you what I mean by this. Okay, right. So let's say you are in the dating game and you are dating 3 women. And one woman over here, you just met today, actually. You go on a date, you guys are talking, and she asks you, are you dating anybody else, right? Instead of lying to her and saying, no, I'm not dating these 2 other women over here, what this will do is this will raise her interest and attraction because women want what other women want, okay? Don't shy away from letting a woman know if they ask. I mean, you don't want to just like spill out all your information, but don't shy away from letting a woman know that you are dating or seeing other women. And this can also be shown or felt through how often or how frequent you text a woman that you just met, right? If you're not pressed or not concerned about texting a woman that you just met after y'all saw her and had a great time, it may tell her that you may be seeing other women or you may be talking to other women, which is only going to raise her attraction for you in her eyes. Okay, so like I said, tip number 6, she is secretly attracted to your ability to generate other options outside of her. And it will actually be very hard for her to ghost you, leave you, or stop pursuing you because she knows that other women are actively pursuing you while she is, right? Okay, so tip number 7 is be brutally honest no matter what. And the idea is to never lie to a woman and attempt to keep the peace or avoid confrontation. And that every tense interaction actually is an opportunity to keep it raw, authentic, and 100 with a woman and tell her the truth despite her not liking what you tell her. And this idea actually applies perfectly to naturally creating tension when dating women as well. Because when you tell a woman a hard, cold truth, it will create tension because she may not like what she hears from you, but she has to respect the fact that you told her the truth instead of lying and hiding like a weak little man. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying you just want to share everything with the woman that you're dating and tell her all your secrets and trying to be overly honest. But what I am saying is if she were to ask you something and in your gut intuition, you feel like you don't want to tell her or you want to have your cake and eat it too, or give her an answer that you know will make her happy or content, don't do that. She will feel it. Instead, tell her the hard, cold truth despite her maybe not liking it, okay? And I actually talked about this in my program, right? I use this be brutally honest technique mentality. And what it did is every woman that I dated, when I told them the hard, cold truth that they maybe didn't want to hear, they had so much respect and reverence for me, guys. And it made them like me so much more. And the same will happen for you. So keep it 100 at the end of the day. So essentially, anytime I get into a confrontation with a woman that might be uneasy, I tell them the simple truth because the truth will set me free every single time. And at the end of the day, if they don't like the truth, they're going to have to respect it. Okay, the last tip I want to give you is probably the most important tip for you as a man, and that's don't sacrifice your purpose and business for her. If you are constantly trying to make yourself available to see women at the expense of your purpose and business, it is going to be very difficult to get her in the space of wanting to see you because you have essentially robbed her of the longing and feeling of missing you if your time was more valuable. You are essentially not giving her any room to pursue you in the first place. And this is actually why I stopped eagerly trying to see women after the first date. It's also why after the first date, I just resumed back to my life and my purpose for a few days without even reaching back out or attempting to set up date number 2. Doing this will inevitably reveal her interest level she has for you, and it will set you apart from the other men that are desperate for her time and attention, especially if she's super pretty. So yeah, every time you're dating women, don't begin to give her all of your time and attention the day after date number 1. Keep prioritizing and putting your time and attention into the things that are a direct correlation to your legacy and value as a man. I'm not saying never make yourself available or never text her, but you don't want to sacrifice your priorities as a man to do so. And on that note, if you're a guy that's struggling to keep women interested in you despite consistently going on a bunch of dates, I actually made this video right here where I explained how I got women to stick around and emotionally invest in me without having to go on endless amount of dates. So yeah, if you're currently a one date wonder type of guy, click onto that video and I'll see you in there.
Duke, you know I love you, right?